But I was as into the New Orleans-Atlanta game as I was into any other game this weekend because of Taysom Hill. We know it was kind of controversial. Everyone thought they were going to go with Jameis Winston, and instead they went with Taysom Hill as the starter for the injured Drew Brees. And we both thought, you thought it was definitely the wrong move. I wasn't sure, but I didn't expect much from Hill. I didn't expect him to thrive as a starting quarterback. And I'm not going to say that, he's arrived. He can be their next quarterback, their quarterback of the future when Brees is gone. Obviously it's too early for that.
Oh, yeah. And we just talked to Mike just said the same thing. Like, he doesn't look like he's a quarterback. You know what I mean?
I'm going to give him this. He played well.
No. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like the what you would consider a quarterback.
He's not a drop back passer by any stretch of the imagination, but he definitely throws it much better than Tebow. And I think even runs it better. Tebow obviously more powerful, but Taysom's actually, I think, a pretty good runner. But anyway, he looked good, Rob. I got to give it to him. They beat Atlanta 24-9. He was 18 for 23, 233 yards. That's 10 yards per attempt, which is pretty darn good. Didn't throw for any touchdowns, but he ran for 2, and he was their leading rusher with 51 yards on 10 carries. And watching it, Rob, it made me feel like, okay, we kind of alluded to this on Friday. I think they went with him because he'll do more of the safe things. He did try to throw it downfield a couple of times. One was just ridiculously underthrown, and I think the receiver came back and caught it, but it was a horrible pass. But he threw short passes well. He hit, Michael Thomas, he hit a ton of times. And he ran it well. And he didn't, make any bad decisions for the most part. He fumbled after a 20-yard carry late in the game, but I thought he looked good. I think he would have a hard time playing that way for a long period of time because he's not like, Lamar, Russell Wilson, really any of the other running quarterbacks we've seen. He runs like a fullback, and he took a couple shots, and I just think over time, you saw it at BYU, he had 4 season-ending injuries.
Right.
And so I don't know that this would be long-term sustainable, but I got to give him his props. He looked good on Sunday.
Here's the other thing, too. And I'm not – you got to play who's in front of you, Chris. It was Atlanta who everybody's beaten.
Right.
Atlanta's just not a good football team. And their defense, anybody quarterbacking, as I talked about earlier, their defense has been, Chris, tremendous. That's why they've won, 7 in a row?
Well, they look like the best team, regardless of quarterback, right?
Right. Just like whoever, it doesn't matter. Yeah. If you're giving up, what did I say it was, 25 points in the last 3 games, Chris, that's 8 points a game. You're going to win in the NFL when you're averaging giving up 8 points a game. And they got after the quarterback, Matt Ryan. They were all on top of him, sacks galore. When you're doing that, you're going to stop the opponent and win the football game. And but there was a little pushback, Chris, from some players, not all. And this is some of the stuff I was talking about when I alluded to it on Friday, just about, players know who should play, Chris. You know right. That's why you can't, when it's about a equal level playing field and people out there, you can't slip somebody in. They know who's good and who's not. Am I right?
Right.
No
absolutely.
Doubt about it. And players won't tolerate that because it's what they do. It's all the energy they're putting on. And if they see you try to slip a guy in who's not better than somebody else, there's going to be a problem. And there were some players, Adam Schefter reported that there was a little pushback that Hill was given a nod over Jameis Winston because of the resume, Chris. And I talked about it before. You could talk about the 30 interceptions all you want. But if you just talk about resumes and what each person has accomplished in the NFL, there's no doubt about it that Jameis Winston is a better quarterback than Hill. Now, whether or not, and it worked out because they won the first game and he played well, so that squashes it for now. But it would have been a little different.
I think part of that too, Rob, and this is speculation, but I think it makes sense. They probably are seeing Winston more in practice because who's gonna emulate the opponent? It's not gonna be Taysom Hill because he's not, he's a rare type of quarterback, right?
You're not preparing for that. I agree with you.
So it's gonna be Winston that you're looking at, you're seeing more. And I thought maybe this decision was made because he hasn't looked good in practice, but apparently he must look pretty good because the players are, saying that he should have been the starter. I agree. It's not even a discussion as to who's done more in the NFL.
Right. We all know that. That ain't even a conversation.
Right. He led the league in yardage last year. And they were 7-9. Some of that, no doubt, empty calories, those yards, but still. He threw for 320 yards a game, 319 yards.
Right. You don't do that by accident if you don't have any talent.
Right. So we know that. It's not even close who's done more in this league. What I will say is this, though. I don't think Winston's resume is great enough where, it should be an uproar or a big controversy. Like, how in the world are they starting Taysom Hill over Jameis? You know what I mean? Like, because we know Jameis, for all his, good things he does, he's got a turnover problem, whether it's fumbles, whether it's picks, whatever. And so I do, and let's face it, not many people wanted him. They got him for $1 million. And so while I, again, thought that they would go with him, I think he's, certainly got more upside than Taysom Hill and has definitely accomplished way more. I couldn't go to bat for him like this is a travesty. Winston should be starting because he has made a lot of errors and mistakes. And again, I didn't know this was coming, but Taysom did look good, at least on Sunday.
Yeah, like I said, you get in, you play, Chris, and he didn't have to make those throws, right, because they're playing Atlanta. And at some point, he'll have to make some throws, right? At some point.
He made some decent throws, but his long balls weren't very impressive.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. And at some point that'll show. And then if he makes those, Chris, then players will have a very little leg to stand on. But if he doesn't, then or they lose or there's something and he can't make throws or something, then it'll be open for discussion again. But I'm not surprised that some players just thought, wait a minute, what's going on here? Not having, because, Taysom Hill just hasn't played that much for him to have enough of a body of work for everybody to just sign off on it with sight unseen,
Right. But he, according to the reports, people believe in him. The whole team, he's kind of one of those inspirational figures that, everybody's kind of drawn to. Seems like an optimistic type guy. And like I said, he played well. I couldn't find fault. First half, they weren't moving the ball much.
It was 10-9.
Yeah,
right?
he wasn't putting up a lot of points. I don't want to make it like he was awesome because he wasn't. At 233 yards is not something in today's NFL that you write home about. But I got to be honest, Rob, I wasn't expecting much. I was kind of expecting this dude to fall on his face. And I thought he ran it, like I said, he ran it well. He ran it for 2 touchdowns, and he threw it well enough. He actually made some nice throws.
Right.
He had a drop or two. Michael Thomas dropped one right in his hands. So I'm intrigued to see what he does. Jameis Winston's career, and I'm sure his career's not over, but he should get another shot, whether it's in New Orleans or somewhere else as a starting quarterback. I would be shocked. In fact, it would be freaking negligence on some team's part.
Get a shot.
You know what I'm saying?
There'll be an opportunity. He's too young, Chris.
Talented, young, and you got to think he's learning, right? In New Orleans.
You just said it he led the league in passing yards. He could throw the football. That's not the issue. It's about making better decisions with the football, Chris. It's one thing if you can't get the ball there. It's just a matter of making the right decisions, maybe not forcing as much.
Right. And if I'm another team, I'm thinking he's learning in New Orleans. Whether he ends up playing in the games or not, he's got to be learning under Drew Brees. in practice, watching in the games, all the quarterback room, all of that. If he's not, then he may just not want to be, put in the work and have the discipline to be a very good NFL quarterback. But I think he's been humbled. I think he, is smart enough to say, all right, let me learn. Let me learn from this guy and come back as a better player. So I definitely don't think it's over for him by any stretch. And who knows, we may see him before Drew Brees
You never know, right?
Coming back, yeah.
You never know. So he has to be ready in case Brian Flores is coaching these Saints, and at some point in the fourth quarter decides to pull a plug. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, Taysom Hill ain't irreplaceable. That's for darn sure. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
So were you impressed with Taysom Hill? I was. Did he do enough to make his teammates feel better about him starting over Jameis Winston?
All right, let's kick it off with Eric in Seattle. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio, and let me guess, it's raining up there.
Yeah, it is. It's sprinkling right now, but not too hard.
It rains every day up there.
Oh my God!
Well, it's more overcast than rain every day.
Yes,
but you're still the man, Rob. Chris, you're okay, but Rob is the man.
How is he the man?
I love Seattle. That's one of my favorite towns.
Man?
I love Seattle.
I want to hear this.
All right, go ahead.
How is he the man and I'm okay?
Okay. What I got for you guys is what I think is going on.
Okay, so
wait a minute, Eric.
What? I give you a little bit of pushback and you just melt? That's
Chris
it?
wants to know why I'm the man. Tell him
and
why
I'm only okay.
I did
you
not hear
heard.
him.
No, stop it.
Go ahead.
Answer.
Okay. Rob is the man because he schools you every day.
Oh God!
Chris.
How much did he pay you? How many pairs of Jordans did he send you to say this? This is ridiculous.
Come on, man! I listen to the show every day, and his stats, his points, everything is on time.
My man.
Real talk. Full disclosure. Do y'all know each other?
No, we do not.
No,
Real
I don't know.
talk.
Other than talking on here a couple of times, but
Yep. All right, go ahead, Eric. Go ahead with your point, man. I appreciate your support.
All right, brother, from another mom.
As foolish as it is, but go ahead.
Oh my God, Chris! I think what's going on with the Saints up there, Sean Payton. I think they really don't want to showcase Jameis Winston because they want to keep him on a cheap for a couple more years because Drew Brees is probably out the door.
Yeah, but I don't know about on the cheap.
You buy that, Rob? I don't know.
No, I don't, Eric, because depending on what happens next year in the quarterback market or whatever, and if he gets in and plays well or something, just like Teddy Bridgewater had a serious injury, Chris, remember, right?
Right.
Lost his job in Minneapolis, and what happened? He got a nice deal in Carolina, so he got to play 5 games. They were 5-0. He didn't have any crazy numbers.
His point, the caller's point, is that if they let Winston out there and he looks good, they could lose him next year, they lost Bridgewater. But
I don't believe that.
I get his logic, but I don't think that's the case. I think you play the best. You put the guy you think.
Sean Payton's trying to win another Super Bowl, Chris. Right? Come on, seriously. What do we always say? I always say anybody can win one. You want to put your name in there, win a second one, Sean Payton, and people will look at you as one of the great coaches in the NFL.
Right.
Sean in Sacramento, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Sean?
My uncle's from another mother, man. Hopefully y'all staying blessed and staying healthy out there. How y'all holding up?
Doing good.
We are, brother. I'm doing well, man.
Knock on wood, man. Thank God. I mean, I cannot get over how many people are ill and have it. I'm stunned every time I look on Facebook. Stunned.
Right, man.
Yeah.
I just found out two of my wife's future wife's coworkers just passed away, and they're in their mid-30s. So this ain't a joke right
from
now,
COVID?
Man.
That's crazy.
From COVID, yeah, complications from COVID.
Wow.
So, back to some a little bit of levity, man. First of all, how y'all gonna talk about y'all was kind of impressed, man? You realize he threw a 43-yard pass in the air, which is longer than anything Drew Brees or Jameis has thrown all year. Man, I'm gonna say something.
Hold on. You talking about who? I can't remember who it was to, but you talking about where he completely underthrew the receiver and the receiver came back and caught it?
That one?
Hey, catches the catch.
That was a horrible pass.
Oh.
But I hear you. Look, he looked good. I mean, I gotta give him props. He looked good. But go ahead.
But, man, and then second of all, y'all keep fighting for Jameis. I'm going to say something in Espanol that even you'll understand, Chris Broussard. Para! Come on, baby. You better stop it, brother. You look at Jameis, man. He threw 30 TDs and 30 interceptions. Rob, for you in the baseball, that's like striking out 9 people and then putting 9 people on base. It's unacceptable. We know what we got, man. The same way y'all treating Fitzpatrick, he's going to turn into a pumpkin one day. You realize this guy has the best QBR for a year, right?
He's a lot younger than Fitzpatrick. The book is written on Fitzpatrick.
On top of that, Rob, you should be able to appreciate somebody like Taysom. The guy's working triple and quadruple shifts, special teams, offense, special teams, defense.
Yeah, but
everything, man.
Taysom doesn't take days off every week either.
Oh, wow. All right, wow.
Now, I hear you. And look, I'm
Thanks,
not
Sean.
caping for Jameis. I said his resume ain't good enough for me to, make an uproar about, oh, my gosh, they're starting Taysom Hill. I'm just saying that he's done more in the past. But I got no problem with him starting Hill, especially with the way he played on Sunday.
And all I'm saying is I also understand how some players, looked at it and just said, wait, what's going on here? That's all I said because of the resume. Let's go to Steve in Atlanta. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Steve?
What's up, gentlemen? I'm a transplant from New Orleans. I just believe that, remember now, Taysom Hill signed a new contract before they signed Jameson.
Yep.
And it had to be a gentleman's agreement that Sean Payton said, next year is your opportunity. Because remember, he was number 3 behind Brees.
Right. We know that.
So,
that.
As to keep his face as a head coach, he had to honor that. Now imagine the pressure Taysom Hill is under, because Sean Payton also told him too, you don't put no W's on the board, because we're in the middle of a playoff run. This ain't no beginning of the season. This is the playoff time right now in the regular season. You mess up, you don't put a W on the board, I'm gonna replace you with Jameson. So imagine the pressure.
I agree. But hold on. I think you're right. I think he definitely told Hill, look, we're gonna give you a shot, and so he gave him a shot. But how do you think Hill responded under it, all the pressure? I thought he played well.
He played well. I'm very happy with it. Remember, Jameson, with the Tampa Bay, he's 1-5 against Atlanta. So maybe Sean Payton knows what he's doing more than we are, and I think they want Jameson next year, but they know. But remember, Drew Brees is going to retire. His contract
he's going. Drew Brees is going to NBC, dude. They say it's a done deal.
Right.
And here's the thing too.
His money
if I'm
be off
New
the book.
Orleans, I do feel, and again, let's see what Jameis can do, because obviously he's got the turnover problem. But I certainly feel much better with him as my quarterback going forward than Taysom Hill.
No doubt.
Because Taysom at best, maybe he could do it for a year or two. You ain't playing that way for very long. I'm sorry. And just like Rob, we've seen defenses figure out Lamar to some degree. You don't think they figured this dude out?
After a while,
He's
yes.
far
And
less
they will
dynamic.
they'll make you throw the football, Chris. Yes, they will.
So